भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकलः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थस्य भद्राणि विनोति सुहृसताम् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Today I'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 14, verse 23 to 27. Vena uvacha Balishabhata yuyam va adharmo dharmamaninaha ye vruttidam patim hitva charam patimupasate. Synonyms. Venaha, King Vena, Uvacha, replied, Balishaha, childish, Bata, Oho, O, Yuyam, all of you, Va, indeed, Adharme in religious principles, Dharma Maninaha, accepting as religious, Ye, all of you, Vritidam, providing maintenance, Pati, husband, Hitva, giving up, Charam, Paramor, Patim, husband, Upasate, worship. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. King Vena replied, "You are not all experienced. It is very much regrettable that you are maintaining something which is not religious and are accepting it as religious. Indeed, I think you are giving up your real husband who maintains you and are searching after some paramour to worship." Purport. King Vena was so foolish that he accused the saintly sages of being inexperienced like small children. In other words, he was accusing them of not having perfect knowledge. In this way, he could reject their advice and make accusations against them, comparing them to a woman who does not care for her husband, who maintains her but goes to satisfy a paramour who does not maintain her. The purpose of this simile is apparent. It is the duty of the Kshatriyas to engage the Brahmanas in different types of religious activities, and the king is supposed to be the maintainer of the Brahmanas. If the Brahmanas not worship the king, but instead go to demigods, they are polluted as unchaste women. Text 24. Avajananti amimodha ruparupinam ishwaram nano vindanti te padramiha loke paratra cha. Synonyms. Avajananti, respect, disrespect. Ami, those who. Mudaha, being ignorant. Nriparupinam, in form of the king. Ishwaram, the personality of Godhead. Na, not. Anuvindanti, experience. They. Badram, happiness. Iha, in this. Loke, world. Paratra, after death. Cha, also. Translation. Those who, out of gross ignorance, do not worship the king, who is actually the supreme person of Godhead, experience happiness neither in this world nor in the world after death. Text 25. Ko yajna purusho nama yatra vo bhakti bhaktiridrishi bhratir sneha vidranam yata jare kuyoshitam. Kaha, who is Yajna Purushaha, the enjoyer of all sacrifices, Nama, by name, Yatra, unto whom, Vaha, your Bhaktihi, devotion service, Idrishi, so great, Brother, for the husband, Sneha, affection, Vidranam, benefit of Yata, like Jare, unto the paramour, Uyoshitam, of unchaste woman. Translation. You are so much devoted to the demigods, but who are they? Indeed, your affection for the demigods is exactly like the affection of an unchaste woman who neglects her married life and gives all attention to her paramour. Text 26 and 27. Vishnur Virincho Girisha Indro Vayu Yamo Ravihi Parjanyo Danada Somaha Kshitiragnir Amampatihi Apampatihi. एते चान्ये च विबुधाः प्रभवो वरसापयोः देहे भवन्ति नृपतेः सर्वदेवाय देवमायो नृपाः विष्णुः लॉर्ड विष्णु विरिञ्चः लॉर्ड ब्रह्मा गिरिशः लॉर्ड शिवा इंद्रः लॉर्ड इंद्र वायु वायु द डायरेक्टर ऑफ एयर Yamaha Yama the superintendent of death Ravihi the sun god Paranjaya the director of rainfall Danadaha Kuvera the treasurer Somaha the moon god Kshidihi the predominating deity of the earth Agnihi the fire god Apampatihi Varuna the lord of waters Ete all these Cha and Anye other Cha also Vibhudaha demigods Prabhavaha competent Vara Varasapayoho in the both benediction and curse. Dehe in the body. Bhavanti abide. Drupadehe of the king. Sarva Devamayaha comprising of all demigods. Drupaha the king. Translation Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayu, the master of air, Yama, the superintendent of death, the sun god, the director of rainfall, Kuvera, the treasurer, the moon god, the predominating deity of the earth, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the Lord of waters, and all others who are great and competent to bestow benedictions or to curse, all abide in the body of the king. For this reason, the king is known as a reservoir of all demigods, who are simply parts and parcels of the king body. Purport. There are many demons who think of themselves as the supreme and present themselves as the directors of the sun, moon, and other planets. Is all due to false pride. Similarly, King Vena developed the demonic mentality and presented himself as a supreme person of Godhead. Such demons are numerous in the age of Kali, and all of them are condemned by the great sages and saintly persons. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati श्रीमती व्यक्तिगत नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाशदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे हरे I would like to seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas and thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. Please forgive me for any shortcoming or adding my own interpretation. I did obtain a purport of going to a teaching from Senior ISKCON devotees, basically from Mukundadatta Prabhu, from a lecture given in 2008 in LA. While listening to this lecture, four questions that came out, and then let me start these four questions. Now, the only reason we are asking these four questions right now is with respect to the discussion of King Vena. Is King Vena wrong? Are the rishis right? What is the conflict here, and what is the solution? Now we see that Sutta Goswami is for speaking to rishis at Naimisharanya, which is headed by Shonika Rishi. Again, this is again a conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. Maitreya has asked Vidura questions during this conversation, and there came a topic about Dhruva Maharaja and his descendants, where Narada Muni has purified all the Kshatas as well. King Vena's father, Maharaj Anga, was a pious man. They'd marry Sunita, and they are blessed with a son who is unqualified, nothing but King Vena. Here we also see that the son, who is nothing but King Vena, takes after the mother Sunita, and Sunita is the daughter of death. Here we're talking about the qualities of the mother Sunita that King Vena has acquired. Now we also know that King Vena had so we had Vena and sages, and we see that the sages have installed Vena because there should be some sort of a king, uh, and basically we can also see the qualities of King Vena from his mother Sunita. which was also mentioned in part of Padma Purana. What is the duty of sages? The sages' duty is to preach, perform sacrifices to please percent of Godhead. But nature of things they have results, and also people won't surrender to the supreme person of Godhead. And when you have to get people to surrender, you have to be managed. So here we need King Winner to manage the kingdom so that the sages can do their the sacrifices, austerities, and other uh, spiritual aspects. We also see that Maharaja Anga want to bring Utkala, who is a elder to Vena, but Utkala did not want to become a king. We can say it's like kind of a short person or an avduta. Now we also know that Maharaja Anga is very responsible and a pious king, but he did not have a son, and he worshipped the Supreme Lord to get a son, and that son happened to be Vena. Now we also see things were so touchy sometimes during this material existence. Even we have best of intentions, and even we have best character, and even we have good guidance, things still might go wrong. Now, Srila Prabhupada also says, actions even can happen on a royal roads. So we cannot avoid the situation that's going on. It's because of some reason or fate of Anga, Maharaj Anga was blessed with a son, like Vena. And we also heard about Maharaj Anga realizations and became so disturbed by his son because of his character. And he simply gave up all the household activities and went into the forest and chanted to be in Krishna's consciousness. Now we see that he was blessed with a son with the blessings. When I was born, there was a blessing from the skies that Maharaj Anga was blessed with a baby boy. We also see that the sages are lamenting over the fact that we installed Vin as a king because somebody has to manage the kingdom, and we have installed the unqualified person, Vin, as a king. Now, king as an unqualified because of his characteristics and the qualities of that he has, demonic qualities. Basically, the duty of the king is to manage people, manage results of preaching, and also giving the sages and protecting them. But on the contrary, he's the one who is causing disturbances. We have seen this is not just a unique situation. We have seen these kind of situations in Puranas and even in the current material world and the current situation also. When a king is been installed as a when I was installed as a king by the sages in the kingdom, sages gave good instructions for him to follow dharma and create his sons in the kingdom to continue Vana dharma, ashrama dharma, and encourage brahmanas to perform preachings and perform sacrifices to worship Supreme Lord. Now, in this way, what the sages are trying to say is follow dharma, follow artha, avoid karma, and try to get moksha. And each person is supposed to follow the dharma and artha, avoid karma, and finally attain the moksha. It is nothing but to the put of to the feet of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And these are the four goals and the duty of the civilized leaders and spiritual leaders to encourage and practice these four goals. Despite of sages giving good instructions, King Vena was very, but sorry, despite of sages giving good instructions, even sages were furious with King Vena. Reason, he was already telling brahmanas to perform sacrifices. King Vena has a mere idea that king is supreme and the representative of God. So people have to worship me. Now, this is a great misunderstanding from King Vena. King Vena is the protector of the people of a kingdom, and he has to worship the supreme person of Godhead. Now, this confusion is created. Now, there's also confusion created by the absolute truth. which is to be Achintya Bheda Bheda, inconceivable and identity indifference. Even though King Vena is an ordinary man, he is considered as a supreme person or at least a representative of supreme person. Now we can also see that an example of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is a pious and spiritual leader, always prayed to supremacy of Godhead, and still he considered himself as a devotee of the supremacy of Godhead. He was the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and this has happened after he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvipa and who then became fully devoted. We also heard some of the teachings. Prabhupada also mentioned Lord Jagannath deity is made of wood, stone, and metal, but we still have a form to praise and see him as the supreme person of Godhead. However, in this age of controversy, there are a lot of arguments based on the principles each person is coming up. Everything is fundamentally achintya to us, and we have a limited point of view. That's why we have to accept as spiritual masters to begin with, to avoid our confusions and take the path of the supreme person of Godhead. Now, this was clearly mentioned again in Bhagavad Gita, in the purport on the chapter 8, text 11. Prabhupada mentioned the purport. The social construction of the world has changed so much that there is no possibility of one practicing celibacy from the beginning of student life. Throughout the world, there are many institutions for different departments of knowledge, but there is no recognized institution where students can be educated in the brahmacharis. Unless one practices celibacy, advancement in spiritual life, it is very difficult. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has announced, according to the scriptural injections for the age of Kali, that there is in this age no process of realizing the Supreme is possible except the chanting of the holy names of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now we also see even in the Christianity and Abrahamic section, there is no a particular spiritual master. We also saw impersonationists, or we call ideologists, or we can call them like material persons who incarnate themselves as much as they can, and these are people who propagate them to be a supreme God. Now, there's a pure misunderstanding that's happening, as we heard from the purport from Bhagavad Gita. Now, coming back to the story, we also saw we're not caught up in this kind of mentality of Advaita, of too much of oneness. And what traits, and how do we know these traits, or how do we try to avoid these to only have one bonafide spiritual master? Srila Prabhupada also says that if someone who does not have a spiritual master is rudderless and in the ocean of stressful controversy and even in his current material existence and situation. Now, we can also see that there is a word called recognition. In Kashmir, it is called Shaidas and has nice words. Kashmir Shaidas has a nice words of name called recognition called Pratibinga. And we also know that the absolute truth is within all of us. But how do you practice is to have a paramparagata or something bona fide with a bona spiritual master. What you're trying to get is the real truth of dharma. Now, we all know that there are 12 Mahajanas as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Unfortunately, King Vena, who has the delusion of he being the supreme of the people in the kingdom, and asking everyone to treat him as supreme person of Godhead is a pure confusion and mistaken. Now, this is the mentality of King Vena. The whole concept of King Vena that he's a supreme person of Godhead is wrong. He's right because he's the king, he should be the protector of the kingdom, and then the people and the resource in the kingdom. Rishis even though they installed King Vena, They have they were furious with King Vena because he stopped all the sacrifices and spiritual activities that sages want to perform. Confusion was caused by King Vena himself. A solution? Definitely, we all see that he got his death. We can see in further slokas. Unfortunately, what I can say is that King Vena has overemphasized inappropriately because he didn't have a spiritual master, unfortunately, and was not even able to accept any spiritual guidance given by the sages. Let me briefly mention in a minute and close this. We know that Vena was a descendant of Manu, but he is also known for his wickedness and misrule. He banned all worship and sacrifices. He also refused to restore when asked by sages. What happened? Sages killed King Vena with consecrated blades of grass. After Vena's death, King Prithu took over, and how King Prithu emerged was from Vena's right arm after the sages headed his body. In Rigveda, Vena is a personification of a celestial being, possibly the rainbow. In Sanskrit, the name Vena means literally tormentor. I would like to end this purport. Thank you for giving me an opportunity, and sorry if I had my own purport.